Before I break your neck, there is one thing I must ask you.
Stay out of my way.
I don't recall giving you permission to speak. Answer my question. That is all you have left to do. Flame Emperor. No. Edelgard. Tell me now. Why did you cause such a tragedy? You killed your own mother, and yet you haven't even had the decency to stop and consider the reasons behind your actions! Have you?
I already told you I had nothing to do with that.
It was foolish to think I could reason with a lowly beast.
Your Majesty, now!
You are a monster.
Come, Hubert.
To flee is futile, wicked girl. The Church of Seiros will raise its entire army against you until you have been captured and punished. You have defiled the Holy Tomb, dishonored the goddess, and humiliated your brethren. That crime will never be erased. Even if you burn in the eternal flames and spill all of your blood into the goddess's soil. Come, Professor. Let us return and decide upon our next course of action.
We weren't able to defeat her.
Your Highness.
I will kill Edelgard with my own hands. I swear it! Let's return to the monastery, Professor. It is clear what must be done.
So, he's finally shown his true face. The same Dimitri I've seen once before. A beast who loves spilling blood.
You're wrong. I'm sure of it. There has to be an explanation.
I knew he'd been carrying the burden of that tragedy. I understand his thirst for revenge. His family and closest friends, all massacred right in front of him. But it still doesn't add up. There must be more that we don't know.
That's true. Dimitri didn't come unhinged until after the Flame Emperor was unmasked.
You don't think there's some connection between those two, do you?
The leaders of the Church have misused its creed to fulfill their true desire. To rule the world. They have fooled the people of Fodlan. Long ago, they divided the Empire to create a kingdom. And then, divided that kingdom to create an alliance. They did all of this to make the masses bicker amongst themselves. They caused instability in order to reinforce their own authority. They gathered gold and lived in extravagance. How? By preying on the devotion of those who wished for the goddess's salvation. Those corrupt hypocrites cannot lead Fodlan to true peace. Their foul belief system must be torn asunder so that true wisdom may finally prevail. And so, I have decided, by order of the Adrestian Emperor, Edelgard von Hresvelg, the Empire hereby declares war on the Church of Seiros.
I cannot believe it. Let us recount the situation as it stands, Professor. After you returned from the Holy Tomb, the Adrestian Empire declared war upon the Church of Seiros, as well as our allies. Edelgard demanded her own father relinquish the throne, and then assumed the position of Emperor. She has deemed the Church of Seiros to be an evil of this world, and is calling upon the people of Fodlan to help her tear it down. I must discuss our response to this declaration with the Archbishop, after the Knights return from their investigation. Until then, watch over the students. See that they remain calm.
Professor, the Empire has declared war on the Church of Seiros.
We knew this day would come, sooner or later.
What's going to happen?
We can't afford to be optimistic. It's entirely possible the kingdom will be invaded.
Settle yourself, Ingrid. We need to carefully consider our options.
We can't just act rashly. That will only make things worse.
Once we've ascertained the situation, we must return to Ferdiad. Your Highness.
Part 1. White Clouds. Lone Moon. To War. Together, the people of Fodlan relish the beauty of the brilliant moon overhead as another year ends. They recall sad partings and new acquaintances alike, but each person must still walk their chosen path alone. With each day, the presence of spring grows stronger, and yet a lone moon still haunts the sky, a silent reminder perhaps of some inescapable truth.
Unforgivable! I cannot fathom that the Adrestian Empire would embark on such a violent course of action.
The fault is my own. I failed to see the wickedness within Edelgard's heart. There is no question on that front. She clearly wishes to conquer all of Fodlan. And in order to achieve her own selfish ambitions, she plotted with ill-meaning strangers and defiled the Holy Tomb. Or perhaps her ambitions are even grander than we know. Perhaps she is planning to make herself a false deity by demonizing the Church of Seiros.
Adrestia received its very name through a divine oracle. To injure the goddess is a sin most foul that shall not be forgiven nor forgotten. We must stop the Empire, and quickly.
I have returned, Rhea.
Welcome back, Shamir. Were you able to discern the Empire's movements?
Their main troops are marching towards Garreg Mach. It is said that they will join forces with Edelgard's army and arrive within 2 weeks.
2 weeks? That is not enough time. It will require all of our efforts just to prepare our defenses before then. We must send notice to all surrounding villages at once. We must order the residents of Garreg Mach to flee for their lives.
It will be done.
Professor, listen closely. If our enemy invades the monastery, I will have no choice but to stand upon the battlefield. If something happens to me, I am entrusting my sacred duties to you. You must have guessed it by now. The truth of who you are. Or perhaps I should say, your lost memories are surely beginning to return. I have acted all these long years as a mere proxy for you. But the duty is yours, and yours alone. Only you can lead the people of Fodlan.
Rhea, please. You must tell me all that you know. I beg of you. That one is the progenitor god. Am I correct?
In a sense. Our dear professor is a vessel. One who carries the power of the progenitor god within. In time, the vessel will become one with the power contained within, and the progenitor god shall return to this world.
I see. I trust that you are aware of the questionable nature of this experiment. But I suppose there is no turning back.
I ask that you help our friend. And in doing so, help her. I am waiting and hoping for the moment when our Creator rules this wayward land once more.
I am sorry, but I cannot do this. I am not certain it is just.
Brother, I believe in my professor. I wish to help, no matter the cost.
Flayn, were you eavesdropping? I understand. You owe your life to the Professor, after all. And we cannot leave behind one who may be our brethren.
You have my gratitude, Seteth. And you as well, Flayn. As followers of the Progenitor God, it is up to us to see our mission through.
I did it!
Huh, okay. No big deal, really.
I must continue to work hard.
I passed, as expected.
A new path to tread.
Really? Excuse me.
How are you, Professor? Any new changes to report? With the Imperial Army drawing near, it is most vexing that we cannot relax and converse as we once did. Thankfully, you have the divine protection of the goddess on your side. Please try to listen carefully for her voice. May the goddess's voice reach you.
To think Edelgard was somehow connected to the captain's murderer. Well, perhaps it's pointless to get upset about the past. My duty now is to prepare for battle. We're depending on your strength, Professor. Crush our enemies. Captain, I hope you're watching. We will protect Garrick Mach.
The glory of progress.
We must protect Garreg Mach. Defiling the Holy Tomb was a sacrilege. I will not allow such a thing to happen again. The Archbishop has already given you a new responsibility. I want you to rise to that honor. I have something to ask of you.
The Holy Tomb held many crest stones. This is the first time I've heard of crest stones being hidden away in such a place. But more importantly, I'm interested to know the Empire's aim. Why would their army desire crest stones? There is power there, yes. And yet, I must think on this. The crest stones lie at the heart of the events surrounding Conan Tower and the chapel as well. And of course, the crest stones somehow transform those traitors and their captives into demonic beasts. Could that possibly be their aim? The Empire's army may well plan to use crest stones to create demonic beasts.
Sounds like we arrived at the same conclusion.
Really?
Right. The mastermind behind the attacks on the monastery was Edelgard? Wow. Doesn't make much sense, though, does it? There would need to be all sorts of territories and groups tangled up in this sort of mess. I'm gonna stop. I don't really have the head for this political stuff. Mostly, I'm worried about my old opera company. I wonder what's happening in the capital right now. I hope they're safe.
Well...
So Edelgard, the one who calls herself the Flame Emperor, was connected to those strange beings. The Imperial Army might be using even more terrifying methods than we know. You had better be cautious, Professor. Any amount of carelessness might prove to be our undoing. Yes? I'm actually very busy right now.
I'll have that girl's head. Just you wait.
Professor!
Yes. I guess we have no choice but to fight, have we? Oh, but why would Edelgard do something like this? I'm sure we'll be all right, though, Professor. The goddess will keep us safe. Professor,
Right.
can we really defeat someone who is willing to turn their back on the world just to uphold their own beliefs? I've spent my whole life running in fear, and now Surely we can win if we rely on each other. Right, Professor?
Professor, war is breaking out again, is it not? There was a truly terrible war once upon a time. I never wanted another war. All we can do is steel ourselves for the fight ahead.
Need something? See you again soon.
Professor.
Hey!
Hello there! How dare they threaten the goddess? Such a vile act cannot be forgiven. There is no need to worry, I promise you that. Divine punishment will surely fall upon them. In the days of yore, the goddess would grow angry with such insolent fools and roast them in ALL.
Apologies for my late arrival, Mercedes. My duties ran long, as per usual.
There's no need to apologize at all. Please, have a seat. We've met for tea so many times, but you never seem to get used to it, do you, Ingrid?
Not entirely, no. I'm not accustomed to being treated so delicately. Anyway, what will we talk about today?
I actually wanted to gripe about something that's been bothering me.
You? Gripe? Now that's unusual. I'm happy to listen, of course. It's the least I can do after all the kindness you've shown me.
Thank you. The one thing I really wanted to talk about is marriage.
Oh?
Yes. I received a letter from my adoptive father about marriage discussions with a noble family.
And will you accept?
That's the problem. No matter what I decide, I'll probably be married off anyway. What I really want to do is help those in need. But I think it would be more difficult to do so if I married a nobleman.
Understandably so. Sounds to me like you need a strategy to silence your father.
Sorry? To silence him?
Don't you agree? It seems the best course of action would be to consider severing all ties with the family and running away.
We don't need to go that far. I'm sorry, I really just needed to let that out. I don't need you to worry about solving my problems.
Oh, okay. It's just a bit personal for me, actually. My own father has brought countless marriage proposals to my attention. He always was obsessed with me carrying on the family bloodline. At a very young age, my hand had already been promised to someone in marriage. But Glenn died young.
That must have been difficult for you. Would you have married him if he had survived?
That's a good question. It's hard to imagine now. Although I did admire him quite a lot. He held true to the ideals of knighthood, proudly serving the king. Even after all these years, I aspire to be the type of knight that he embodied. But that's just it. I'm not a tool for furthering my family's fortunes. I'm a knight at heart, regardless of what my father desires.
I see. A very noble cause indeed. How strange that we should be worrying about the same thing.
Even though we are such different people.
It's true. Enjoying a nice chat over tea with you like this makes me realize maybe the paths we walk aren't so different after all. Don't you think?
I do. These tea parties of ours, they really are something special.
That they are. Ingrid, I would love to get to know you better if that's okay. I want to know about your childhood, your favorite books, the sweets you like, anything at all.
Absolutely. I'm happy to speak with you anytime. And I want to know you better too, Mercedes.
The Empire is moving quickly. Edelgard must have been preparing for this for a while now. If you really think about it, she must have been planning for this even before you got the Sword of the Creator. Of course she was always a step ahead of us. We were blinded by the ball and the battle of the eagle and lion and everything else.
What is Edelgard even trying to achieve? She wants to destroy the church so badly that she'll take on anyone who doesn't fall in line? I don't get it. I just can't believe she'd start a war over it. Not to mention using such nasty tactics to get her way. Could Captain Gerald's death have also been a part of her plan? Don't you go and die on me, Professor. Captain Gerald would never forgive you. Okay. Ugh.
His Highness calls for the head of Edelgard. For me, that is cause enough to fight. Perhaps, but it is too late to stop him now. And if Edelgard was responsible in any way for the tragedy of Duscur, that is something I cannot ignore. If that is the case, then she is my enemy.
You'll battle Edelgard, right? Good luck. Me? Oh, I'm going to run away. I have zero interest in dying here, thank you very much.
Things must be pretty crazy in Fargus about now. My father must be beside himself. I don't get it. Why did Edelgard make enemies with the nobles? Ideals she believed in so much, she was willing to start a war over them? Those must be some lofty ideals, to say the least. I hope this all gets sorted out quickly and safely. I'm worried about my father.
Is that so?
Once the Imperial Army reaches the monastery, we'll have no choice but to fight.
What's going to happen to us?
Oh, well, we'll just have to try our best.
The Empire's aggression cannot stand. But if we are going to attack them now, we must be honest with ourselves about our chances of success. It goes without saying that I will fight the Imperial Army with everything I have for as long as I am able. But House Gloucester's territory is adjacent to Imperial lands. Let us proceed with caution. It would seem that your reputation is on the rise. Even Lady Rhea has taken a liking to you. It's a shame I am not in your class, but I suppose I am content with my current arrangement.
Edelgard became emperor and raised an army, huh? Who knew the kid had it in her? I mean, yeah, of course, I knew she'd be emperor eventually, but the more I think about it, the more surprised I am. I wonder who's gonna win. But would it really be okay for Edelgard to win? Edelgard became... I do find you very...
Professor, what actually happened last month? I can't keep up at all. Edelgard is the Emperor? And she's declared war against the Church? So now we're at war? What is going on? I really don't understand any of this. What should I do?
If I could go back to last month and throttle my carefree self. Now it turns out Edelgard is the Flame Emperor and the new Adrestian Emperor. And she's striking out against the monastery, with the full force of the Imperial Army behind her. We gotta beat her at her own game, for our sake as well as Lady Rhea's.
thought we'd all be really busy with assignments and getting ready for graduation. But now that things have turned out like this, I guess there's nothing to do but fight.
I don't normally have a problem jumping into a fight, but it feels strange going up against my father. We aren't especially close, but he's not an opponent I'd want to face. I'd almost rather fight a monster. I hope he's not part of the group coming to attack Garreg Mach.
You saw it too, didn't you? The boar's true nature. He's hidden his desire for revenge pretty well. But now it's stirred up. Well, regardless. That girl's starting an all-out war, isn't she? But an enemy is an enemy, no matter who they are. Don't let compassion for her get in your way.
Over already. Too slow! I must stay focused. Over already. You never had a chance. I must stay focused.
There are always small power struggles, still. It has been hundreds of years since all of Fodlan was consumed by war. I didn't actually think it would come to this. I feel as though I'm not in my rightful place. I cannot protect the things I should. Professor, if I survive this war, I wish to return to my homeland, to the land of my king.
A moment, please.
We're falling behind. I don't know that we can keep up with the new Emperor. To think that she was able to raise an army of that size right under our noses. However hard we fight, I give us a 50% chance of winning. The enemy has too many advantages. We must make careful preparations. What the?
Right.
It's my job to protect Lady Rhea. I've got to do it, and I got to do it as best I can. And if that means I gotta die for her, then I will. How could Edelgard treat Lady Rhea like she's the bad guy? She's never been anything but nice to everybody. I just don't get it at all.
A moment, please.
Those who serve the Church must cast aside all selfish desires and devote themselves fully to their beliefs. But is it right to wield piety as a weapon? I have never considered such things before. The Church, I have always done what I thought best to save the people of Fodlan.
I am owing big debts to Duke Garrett of the Empire. He is the Minister of Affairs that are foreign. He is a friend of Edelgard. He is to her side. What should I be doing?
Hello.
I hear the Alliance's territory will be in danger if we don't get rid of these Empire guys. If the Alliance is in danger, that means my sister's in danger too. There's no way I'm gonna allow that. It doesn't matter how many guys they throw at us. I'll beat them all. These muscles aren't just for show. But first, I gotta get some food. Good to see you, Professor. Did you need something from me? I was just on my way to train, so I'm pretty busy. We can talk soon.
The most important nobles in the Empire are known for taking power from the previous Emperor, my father included. I didn't think it possible that the Imperial Princess could ascend the throne so easily. However, it seems that both my father and Caspar's are supporting Edelgard. Having both the Minister of Domestic Affairs and Minister of Military Affairs on your side gives you total control over the Empire's military and finances. They must have been making preparations for quite some time without anyone noticing.
I cannot believe our negligence allowed the Empire to invade. Edelgard probably gathered her soldiers in Garreg Mach, intending to do this from the start. Soldiers disguised as merchants and pilgrims to avoid suspicion, infiltrating the entire area little by little. They couldn't be better prepared. We'll have a tough time winning this one, I'm afraid.
Half of the Empire's 6 great noble families have declared their support for Edelgard. Of the other 3, Lord Vestra was assassinated. Hubert, his son, will succeed him. Bernadetta's father, Count Varley, is under house arrest. His wife is now supporting Edelgard. And my father, he was stripped of his role as Prime Minister. As a result, House Eyre has lost all of its power, all of its lands. We have lost everything. What do I do? Oh, Professor. Here to recruit me, I presume? Well, the eldest son of House Eyre will not be so easily swayed.
Well done. You have my thanks.
love this stuff. Did you know that?
That looks delicious. Goddess forgive me, I've just got to indulge.
Yes! Yes! Thanks for the...
I'm getting it. I will master this. I've learned a lot. I'm getting it.
You're a good professor.
I've learned a lot.
It was... Of course... Quite a... It was not... Quite...
Let me ask you something. Huh. Is that right?
Great weather today. Perfect for shutting yourself inside, don't you think? Oh, you go right ahead. I'll be right here. The better the weather, the less crowded it is in here. I can't pass up having all the space to myself. I love feeling like I'm all alone in the world. Oh, that. Well, I guess I can tell you, Professor. My father's obsessed with money. He's only ever seen me as bait for a rich husband. To train me to be a good, submissive wife, he'd do things like tie me to a chair and leave me there all day, challenging me to stay quiet. I tried hard to do as he asked. Honestly, I did. But before I knew it, I just couldn't bring myself to leave my room anymore. I just had this overwhelming feeling of fear all the time. No matter how hard I tried, my father never thought I was good enough. After that, it was just constant scolding. He couldn't say 2 words to me without mentioning how useless I was. An unmarriageable girl. My life was isolated, to say the least. I wasn't allowed to play with other kids, let alone make friends. Soon, I stopped wanting that. I was happiest alone. But even that made him mad. And when he tried to drag me outside, I kicked and screamed so much, I seriously hurt myself. He's calmed down a bit in recent years. His constant torment was replaced with complete indifference. He mostly acts like I don't exist now. If you can believe it, I was basically kidnapped. My mother ordered an attendant to stuff me in a bag while I was sleeping. By the time I figured out what was going on, I was already here. For a while, I was sure I was going to die. But here I am. Look at me, still breathing. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get you down talking like that about my past. Just forget everything I told you. There's no point in talking about myself anyway. Idiot! Oh, this is why everyone hates you, Bernie! What? No, it's not... Oh, Professor! How can you be so kind to me? I don't deserve it. I'm sorry. Please don't look at me.
You called, so I came. Thank you. Not bad. Oh? Oh? That was delicious.
Let's do this right.
I'm glad for your help.
We did some great work.
I've deepened my understanding.
Am I starting to master this?
I'm really getting the hang of this.
Age is but a number.
There are always small. I feel, Professor.
A moment, please.
Hey. We're falling behind. However, the enemy has...
To think. Well, we're depending...
I like seeing a table full of my favorite dishes.
Ooh, I love this stuff. Did you know that?
Oh, this takes me back. I used to love this when I was a child.
This looks delicious. Let's eat.
I like this.
That looks delicious. Goddess forgive me, I've just got to indulge.
That looks appetizing.
I appreciate any good meal, but nothing beats enjoying my favorite food.
Listen up, everyone. The Imperial Army is upon us. If you can fight, pick up a weapon. Everyone else, hurry up and evacuate. We have the Goddess's protection on our side. We have nothing to fear. Victory will be ours.
Professor, are you ready? Well, hurry up. I don't need to tell you that the situation is dire. We have some support troops from the local nobles, but the army we're facing is immense. No matter how you look at it, we're at a disadvantage. To make matters worse, the enemy is being led by Edelgard. Do not underestimate how extraordinary her abilities are.
They're here. At long last.
It seems this will be a battle to remember. About time.
I'll never give up, no matter how outnumbered we are. I'll fight to the very end.
I should have made a move on the Imperial Princess before things got this far. It could have changed everything.
We have the Goddess's divine protection on our side. All that's left is to try our best. All we can do is fight as best we can. Though, if I'm being honest, I'm really scared right now.
We can't just hand over the kingdom and the monastery. We'll stop her, no matter what it takes.
Your Highness, you do not seem... well.
Unwell, you say? What's gotten into you? Nothing could be farther from the truth. I'm so happy I can hardly contain myself. My father, my stepmother, my dear friends. They want her head. They want her life. They've whispered as much to me. And the chance to answer their pleas has arrived at long last. Of course. But don't mistake my intentions. Edelgard will die by my hand, and mine alone. Let's move, Professor. Even if it costs me my life, I won't rest until I've crushed her skull in my bare hands.
Well, it all just got real. And in the next one, we get to see the actual battle.